So today we are going to do an EOD breacher bar. And EOD stands for Explosive Ordnance Disposal. So that was things that they used to disassemble explosives. And in the past they had one from high carbon steel, which was very functional. Only 227 gram and would rust. And this one is out of titanium. So this means it doesn't rust. And also you reduce the weight to 139 gram. So that's quite nice. You also get some paracord with it. So next to the weight, you can also run through the length. The length, as you can see here, is 20 centimeters. Width is a tad over 3 centimeters, like 3.5. The thickness a little bit over 4 millimeters thick. So why would you want to have such a tool? It's just a simple plate of steel, but it does have a nice grind, so you can help to separate parts. As you can see here, it's also to the middle, so it's hey boy, it's shaped towards a point from both sides. It's not sharp, and also here you have a grind that's only from one side. This helps with prying, for example, and also you get a notch that's cut out here, so it's not a straight edge here. It also helps with not losing the tip. The other side is sharp. Some people like to resharpen this edges to become a sharp edge, and also this bevel, but normally EOD uses them in their molly sheets, and then it's nice that it's not sharp, so you can just stick it in there and pull it out if you want to. But if you want to have a miniature axe-like tool, this could help as well to pry it. You don't need this sharp edge. Also, why would you like this kind of tool? You could also use as an improvised shovel, so to dig into the earth or to pry things open. I think this is the maximum size, so 20 centimeters, that you can have in your pocket. I'll show you here a normal pocket. There's already something in. Let's release that. You see it can go away. If you do it in the front pocket, which is less deep, still leave something about some room around. Normal pocket pry bar that I often use is this little guy. As you can see, it's really a lot bigger. And even this little guy is a little bit unhandy to use, but if you already have like a wallet there, you can stick them in, then it doesn't matter, it's just riding flush. So next to those details, the benefit of a little bit more length is that you have more leverage. So if you need to separate things, also if you would sharpen it, of course the purchase would be a little bit easier, but then also you will damage the things that you want to separate from each other. So a nice chunk of steel, and as I mentioned, it's not that nice to use if you have this in your hands, because it's quite sharp. Also the back is quite sharp to feel, and normally they would wrap it with paracord. And the funny thing about paracord is that you get something that is relatively light but also very strong. And another benefit is that there are like 7 strands in there, as you can see here. And those strands can be used to make, for example, a fishing rope or something like that. So if you want to wrap it, you just take the two sides of the paracord, so the two ends, and you start working your way around. So normally, for example, you start by pushing it through one of the holes. I would like to use the second hole if it does work like that, if it wants to cooperate a little bit. So as I mentioned, the strands are beneficial aspects. You can see them, I think, a little bit easier. 7. But it also makes it harder to push them through, because normally at least one of the strands doesn't want to go in. So this could take a little bit more time than I wanted it to take. But here you go, I think they are in. You should make sure that also the coat goes in. So what they, as the name implies, this is also a type of cord that was used in the military. So for example by paratroopers, and the benefit is that you get a lot of strength with it and also a lot of versatility. So I just put it through the first hole, as you can see, and normally we have to do the same with the second hole as well. So you can easily see how it tries to go all the directions instead of the one that you want it to go. You can also solve this by just burning it with a lighter. I think this would be a good thing to do, but I forgot. Let's pause it here and burn it with a lighter. So as mentioned before, I would advise, if you want to do this, to burn it with a lighter, so that you don't get the troubles that I had by all the strings going all the places that you don't want them to go. So normally you can just burn them together, and that would often help tremendously. But they are already should use wet fingers to take them through. Okay, let's see. The drawback of what I just did, burning it with a light, is makes it harder to be separated at a later time. For example, if you are somewhere you need the cord, for example, to make something out of it. As I mentioned, sometimes they even make fishing gear out of it. Pulling it through. Wow, it took some miles. You should pull it through like this, and then start wrapping. You can start by giving the first wrap on the top, and then go from that, like I did here. And you go again, so second wrap from the top. You pull this again, third wrap from the top. But you can pull it again, and for example you can also opt to do this like 4 times, and then 1 time go below them again. So what you then do is, instead of going over the top, you will go below the handle cord. Just put it completely through. And you can do this also like 4 times. Try to keep it as stiff as possible when you wrap the cord. It gives a nice effect. You don't want the handle to be too loose, of course. I'm just pulling it through. Oftentimes they use a vise to put a pry tool in. Here you go, my little pettadille examining the cord. I'm already glad that he doesn't try to hunt it. Okay, as you can see here, I did 4 times above the cord, 4 times below the cord now. Now if you pull this again tightly, and you go overhead again, so again 4 times. 1, 2, 3, and again 4. So as you can see now, I already did 4 times again, so I'm going to go underneath one last time. Also the other end you could seal up with a lighter, of course. I didn't do it, as I mentioned, to retain, if possible. So you see, now I made it a little bit less tight. And it's not what I want. So I will try to solve this. Now I'll try to re-tighten it. And then pull it through again for those last 4 times. The thing is, if you don't what I did now, I just pulled it through. What I completely not my what I did, I mistaken one cord for the other and pulled it through, which I didn't like. So now I have to try and fit it all in again. Oh no. It's not as nice as I want it to be. So what I did now is again use the lighter, this time on the outer fairings. Also try to put 7 strands again together. Try to refit it again in the holes. Also, because of the light, you make it a lot harder, because they become less flexible that way. Let's see, I'll try it again. I will light it again. If you make your fingers a little bit wet, it's easier, because then you don't get ruined. Still very hard. Try to pull it through again if it wants to. A small plier would perhaps work wonders. So there it comes. And now I hope I can push the outer body right through. Also, the outer body is now a little bit more rigid, because we used fire on top of it. What I did not do is keep this tight. I tried to re-tighten it again. So again the 4 times, and now I have to go underneath, so I have to give it a little bit room here. Take it underneath. Try to do this 4 times. This 3rd time. Now we'll be a little bit more cautious not to again disrupted. Otherwise I have to restart again. It's the fourth time. So we can retighten this again. So with 4 times you have enough for one single layer. But because we still have cords, we can also do an additional layer if you would like to. So next to the possibility to add a second layer, you can also try to get the coils a little bit more tight, like I'm doing now. So you push them to the extreme where possible to get more real estate that you can cover. Also pushing this against your belly, in case your ribcage is not the most pleasant experience, as you can probably imagine. It's also a good thing that it's not sharpened. So by doing so you can gain at least one extra choil which can go over again if you want to. Which could give you something like this. It is far better than it was the first time. But I would like to end it with an last choil under the base. So these are 4 above, and now I'm trying to get some additional room by again pressing the coils that we already had. You can see here, it gets harder and harder to get more access because they're getting quite tight already. But why would I want to go one additional time? That I wanted to end under this string here that you have here. So now this is the string that goes over. It now ends underneath, and then you can retighten it again, and you have quite a nice weave, as you can see here. You can also choose to go a little bit further. The benefit of that is that you get more leverage here. The drawback could be that you want to attach something here that you can use it on, but you can still go, of course, a little bit further and then use it again for similar purposes. Also, you see, by pressing a lot, like I did here, I also pulled it over the last hole that was there, so I can try to get it again a little bit more backwards. So you leave room for that additional hole. As you can see here now, it's re-emerging a little bit. And if you do so, you can also try to do it again on the other side, which is now like this. So what we do now is again put it through the hole, like we did here. So as you can remember, I already used a little bit of lighter on this to make it better. It tries to play. To make it more robust, here's the ball. He's going to fetch it now. So again, as mentioned, you can of course try to machine it through, but it's quite hard. I can show you again to make it a little bit easier, I hope. To hit it again here, see it coming. a little plier could help quite a bit. Also this protection part I have tightened by using a lighter, but I don't know if it runs through. Yes, it does. So now you have the same as we had on the other side, and we can now do it also on this side. So the benefit of this weave is that you get a little bit more room to dampen it if you use it in a more forceful manner. Hey. This is a good thing to have. So what I did now, I will show you. Here I run the last underneath, and now I do the other side. So I can start again with pulling it over, or I can do one wind under, and I prefer one wind under in this case. But if I want to do it exactly the same as the other side, again, of course, go one wind over, but I prefer the under to start in this case. Now let's do over to give you the complete same thing as you saw before. So I go 2 times, and the additional benefit 3 times, 4 times of using paracord is that you get something that you can also use if you need a rope. You can just unwind this prying tool, digging tool, whatever you want to call it, and then get access to good quality paracord, which is quite beneficial. You also see that the thickness of the handle increases quite a lot. This also helps if you have a molly patch, that it doesn't fall through all the way. So again, 4 times. You can also use 3 times or 8 times, whatever you want. But the thing is, with 8 times you don't get many chords, but you can make it very tight, if that's something that you like. So now it's under 3 times. Then you can go over again. 1, 2, 3, 4 times over. When you did 4 times over, you can also go under again. Another 4 times. 1, 2. So a thicker handle helps with the forces applied, but also gives you a nicer purchase for your hand, so you have a more solid grip. So again, the 4 times, as you can see here. So we tighten this cord again. Now go over. 1. Throw away the ball again. 2. 3. And 4. In this case, 4 times this doesn't give me what I want to have, because as you remember from the last time, I want to go underneath for the last time. So in this case you could either pull it to be completely symmetric again, so push back the choils as I'm doing now. It's quite hard, especially if you are working it for a while now. This will clear up some room. So if you don't want to ruin your nails, you can use another tool to do this. So sometimes you have to push back one by one, and it will be harder than the last time, because now the underground when you push it over, it's a lot more tight, because there are shells underneath that gives it additional resistance, of course. So now again I have the four, and I can go one more time under in this case, and clear it up. That's the last one. Also to note, the paracord here has went inwards, so you have to massage it out again. And this will be the end result. Quite fat paracord. You see the thickness? Quite a lot increased now. It gives a nice full grip, and also will dampen it a lot. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye bye.